I'm life and business coach Samantha Sifring, and this is the Online Business Building Mamas podcast, where you learn how to build a wildly successful business from home while raising kids. Hey mamas, welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today we are talking about profitable thinking. So here's the premise. There's you and there's money, the money you want to make in your business, and then there's what's in between. Most people think that the things in between are actions that they need to take or problems they need to solve. And they think that they just need someone to tell them how to do that. The truth is that the internet is actually full of hows. There's literally no business advice or strategy or tool that isn't available for free on some blog, podcast, or webinar. There isn't some secret strategy that you haven't heard of yet that's suddenly going to make it all happen for you. The problem isn't a lack of how. We have too many hows. The problem is that nobody taught you how to think to make money. Profitable thinking is a series of lenses or filters for how you see the world and how that perspective causes you to react. On today's podcast, I'm giving you a rundown of the most common unprofitable thoughts and then the profitable thought that you can use instead to start making more money right now. The first unprofitable thought is, I don't know how. This one is ingrained in us from school. We're taught that we need to know the how to do something before we actually do it. We have to read the instructions before we start to assemble the IKEA bookshelf. We have to see examples before we try something for ourselves. We're programmed to be followers, not leaders. It has us looking to other people to tell us how to build the successful business that we want to have before we even take the first step. Our ultimate goal is to see the full path before we take any steps so that we can be sure that we won't make any mistakes. Businesses, though, are actually built by mistakes. When I launched Mama to CEO, I didn't know how to launch a program. I didn't even know how to create a program. I really just took my best guess. I planned it all out, how I thought it would happen, how I thought it worked, and then I executed those plans. And part of those plans totally failed, and I made a lot of mistakes. And I learned from those how to do my next launch a little better. And now each launch I do builds on the lessons from the launches before. Eventually, I'm going to be nailing my launches and have a 6-figure launch of Mama to CEO, all because of the many mistakes that I made and I learned from along the way. The profitable thought that keeps me going through this process is that I'm figuring it out. This thought was one of the most powerful ones that I used to reach 100K in my business. I told myself, I'm committed to figuring it out no matter what. There's a core belief behind this thought that if I just keep trying and making mistakes and learning, I will succeed. And I found this really empowering, and I recommend this way of thinking to all of you. Try this one on and believe it. The next unprofitable thought is, they don't want this. This one always presents itself as a factual observation when really it is total business sabotage. It can show up all the phases of your marketing and selling. So when you're writing content or going live and you skip making an offer because you think that people don't want to hear it, or you don't write an email this week because you think that people don't want it, or you hold back on a discovery call because you think that they won't like it or don't want it. or you get distracted, depressed, and clingy when a new client doesn't sign their contract and pay their invoice right away, and then you assume that they never will because they don't want it. Or you don't make an offer to renew with a current client whose contract is ending because you assume that they don't want it. This thought that they don't want it impacts the vibe of you and your marketing and selling, making you less magnetic and attractive to people. It also impacts what you actually do, not just the vibe, but like the actual things that you do, having you make less offers and trying to convince people, which makes potential clients kind of uneasy and it makes them not confident in you at all. And it becomes this cycle of you thinking that they don't want it, so you don't offer it, or you don't offer it well, and then they don't want it. And then you think, see, I knew they didn't want it. And when really, they probably would have wanted it. The powerful, profitable thought on the other side of this one is I have something that people want. Imagine how differently you show up when you know that you have something that people want. It has you showing up in the world and in your business like you have something desirable and valuable. It has you making offers as if you already know the person is a yes. It's an incredibly magnetic and attractive energy to your potential clients and customers when you show up this way. The last unprofitable thought that we're going to be talking about today is hopefully / if I become successful. This thought feels so innocent. It really presents itself as realistic and humble, but it will make you no money at all. The underlying premise of this thought is that your success is out of your hands, that you are not in control of your results. It's passive and it takes all of your power away. Society tells us that there's some people who can be successful and some people who just can't. This is totally untrue. Building a profitable business isn't something that either happens to you or is in the cards for you or not. It's in your control. Now, this isn't to say that it's always really easy or even that it's going to come naturally to you or that every business is going to be viable. I started a few different businesses before this one that were nowhere near as close to this profitable as my current business is. But what I know is true is that everybody is capable of doing what I have done with my business. When I shifted from this if mentality to when mentality, as it came to my long-term business goals, my business results changed rapidly. I really quickly went from a plateau of 14 one-on-one clients that I had been stuck at for an entire year to fully booked, which for me was 20 clients. And I went from 10K months to 30K months and beyond. I went from having made 100K in 12 months to 100K in 1 quarter and then 100K in 30 days. The way that I was able to shift from if to when was actually working with a coach who believed 100% in my capacity to achieve my goals. So then I was able to use her belief in me to help believe in myself, to really build my belief in myself. When you're operating with unprofitable thoughts, it takes more action, more work, more hustle to get results in your business and make the money that you want to make. Swapping in profitable thoughts for your unprofitable ones means less hustle and struggle to hit your goals. When I work with my clients to reach consistent 5K months in my Mama to CEO program, or to scale to multiple 6 figures in my Mama CEO Mastermind, I give them a simple plan to follow, simplifying the how to hit their goals. And then I coach them on the unprofitable thoughts that they have that stop them from making as much money as they want to. I help them reprogram their brains and totally replace and shift all those lenses that they have and have them build profitable thoughts that make it so much easier to build the business that they really want, with less struggle, less hustle, less grind, and more ease, fun, and simplicity. This is really the missing piece that most entrepreneurs don't realize that they don't have. And it's why that hustle, grind, struggle story and mentality is so common. The real secret to success is a simple action plan plus profitable thinking. All right, mamas, I'll talk to you back here again next week. If you like this podcast, I want to invite you to coach with me over in my program, Mama to CEO. There's you, and there's the consistent income you want to make in your business, and I help you remove everything standing in between. It's lifetime access for mastering your marketing, sales, time, and everything else you need to have the business and life you really want. Whether it's making your first 1,000 or 100,000, I can help you do it. To join, go to mamatoceo.com, mamatoceo.com.